may be. All right, welcome to Coach Heupel's Monday press conference. Coach will make an opening statement, and then we will go into questions, and we will get a mic to you. Everybody set in the back. All right, Coach.
Hey, hope everybody's doing great. Opportunity to review the film with the guys today, and obviously we just pointed out the things that are controllable by us, coaches and players alike, that need to and can be better, and opportunity for us to continue to grow from them. Guys had a great attitude and energy inside the building. Anticipate that. We got another road test here inside the league, and against a really quality opponent. And looking forward to that opportunity to go down to Missouri and play football. So, there are multiple guys that had injuries or got nicked up during the course of the ball game the other night. Don't know where those guys are at. Hendon at quarterback. Not sure if he'll be available or not. So we'll see how that transpires here during the course of the week and go from there. So with that, open it up to some questions.
Questions? We'll start with Adam.
Josh, can you say whether or not Hendon suffered a concussion or if he's in concussion protocol?
He is not in concussion protocol currently. So.
And secondly, just in terms of things that concern you about this team and in performance, where does roster attrition rank in there?
I want to make sure that I understand the question here. You're just saying like where we're at numbers wise
and all that.
I said at the beginning of the year, just pure numbers, we're probably as thin as anybody in the country, just based off of pure numbers, guys on scholarship. Depth for us, certainly, something that we're thinking about and trying to continue to develop. Young guys got to continue to grow and be ready to play when given the opportunity and play at a really high level. So the constant development of your roster is something that you're always thinking about, always working on. And obviously recruiting in this cycle will be big for us too.
Coach, with the quarterback situation, how healthy is Joe? Where is he at in his rehab? And does that make, with those two guys sort of banged up, does that make this a big week for Harris?
Yeah, Joe was in a situation where could play, wasn't at a full 100%. During the week we got him some work, not the same type of numbers that he would have gotten if he was 100%. So I anticipate just through him playing the other night, didn't re-injure or aggravate anything, continue to think that he'll get healthier as this week goes on.
When you went back and watched the film, what do you think led to the drops, and what needs to happen in practice to make sure that those drops don't happen again?
At the end of the day, you got to go execute on the field, handle the environment, handle the competitive situation, throw and catch it, things that we've seen those individuals do at a high level. End of the day, we got to go perform on Saturday and finish the play.
Yeah, looking ahead at Missouri, a dynamic quarterback, good running back that can also catch the ball in the backfield.
Yeah.
What have you seen in them on tape?
Yeah, for them offensively, everything kind of goes through that running back, whether it's the run game or him being heavily involved in the pass game. Guy's been dynamic, near the top in country and just, total yards and productivity. Really good football player, does a great job once the ball in his hands of being electric, making guys miss.
Josh, I guess when Cooper May started to get dinged up, maybe his level of play wasn't quite the same as it was earlier in the game. But what did it mean to have him back? And in terms of just sort of what you learned about him, I mean, the guy's out there, he's got a mashed up hand, his legs bothered him, and he's still playing. What's that tell you about a guy?
Tough, competitive, cares about playing at a really high level, cares about power T, cares about his teammates, wants to be in there. He's a warrior. As the game went on, you watch the film, you can tell that things started to bother him more as the game wore on. He didn't want to come out. He competed extremely hard.
Yeah, Coach, if Cooper can't go and Jerome is in there, what's the next step for Jerome as a center? Is it more mental than physical? What do you need? What do you need Jerome to do to execute more efficiently up front?
Yeah, I think the toughest thing for him is when he's starting at one spot, getting him enough reps at the next spot is difficult to manage and get what you need at both during the course of the week in practice. At the end of the day, some of the snaps got to be better. That's true with Coop in there as well. There's times where, there's plays down the football field that we're not able to connect on. Just simple execution, center quarterback snap, and sometimes quarterback catching it too. But all those pieces got to play in together. Once he's at the center position, do a great job of communicating. He's done that for the most part during the first 4 ball games that he's played some center, but need to do it at a higher level.
Coach, what are your thoughts on the linebacker group, and kind of how's that compared to what your expectations were at the end of fall camp?
I think the group as a whole, through 4 ball games, has done some really positive things, played extremely hard, made plays, been pretty efficient tacklers. The other night, thought we misfit a couple of things on the second level. We got to continue to play smarter in that group. That's during the course of play. It's after the whistle, too. It's a group that is deeper than where we started at the beginning of spring ball. Certainly at the beginning of training camp, seeing those guys continue to grow at that second level.
Look at Missouri defensively, obviously coached really well with a former NFL head coach, but some opportunities there have you seen from film to maybe pick up some chunk plays?
There's been some explosives in the run in the pass game against them. I think they've gotten better as time has gone on. The first 4 weeks, understanding their scheme, fitting things better. They're a group that has continued to improve.
Josh, you guys had the double number situation on special teams. You talked a little bit about it in the post game. How do you avoid that happening in the future? And is a number change a consideration for either of those guys you might need?
Yeah, for sure. With Theo, he's been our punt safe guy, which has allowed Trey to be on the football field. Unique situation, not being able to see. Need him to be smart in how we communicate that, be able to transition, not just the returner, but then Trey needs to get out of the ball game too. It's one of the things that we talked about, coaches and players together being better to handle that situation the right way. Surprised that took that long to come up.
Coach, if Hendon is banged up, is it automatically Joe, or is there any competition there between him and Harrison?
I'm not going to speak to situations that aren't real at this point. So we'll see where we're at during the course of the week and go from there.
Josh, I know that defense gets a lot harder when a quarterback gets outside of the pocket a little bit, gets out there on the edge. Is there anything y'all can do to sort of maybe make the damage less when it gets there? Because it's happened a few times this year with Pickett and then obviously with Jones.
Once they're out, the numbers advantage is in their favor, right? And so as a secondary player, you're caught in a dilemma of continuing to match and cover guys, which you need to do. Otherwise, you're going to give up explosive plays. Once he crosses the line of scrimmage, you got to do a great job of coming off and making a play. It all starts by not letting them escape the pocket that way. And that can be an edge guy. It could be a pressure where we're not setting the edge. It could be, interiorly not having gap control and being able to come off and play the quarterback.
Going forward on fourth down, sometimes the necessity, obviously, scoring situation. But do you believe in going for fourth down early in games as sort of a tone-setting, aggressive tool?
I don't know if it's tone setting. I think each play is the play that makes a difference in a football game. You got to approach it that way. And from a philosophical standpoint, I do believe in being aggressive. I believe that you want to put the ball in your players' hands and allow them to make plays. Being smart with that, we use analytics at times. It's not strictly by analytics. There's a feel and a flow of the football game as well.
I know you guys always have grading systems for your players. Who have been some of the more consistent guys that have graded out at a high level at any position on your team so far this year?
There's been a bunch of guys that have graded out at a high position throughout the course of the season. We recognize guys that we call it 640 Club members, guys that competed and played the way that we want to from snap to whistle. We reward guys with game balls. As far as guys that had exceptional grade out scenarios during the course of the week, end of the year, we give them a game ball too.
Sorry about that, Coach. You talk about in practice how the quarterbacks and wide receivers are on the same page. sometimes. What's the disconnect that happens in game-like situations where they're overthrows or drop passes?
Yeah, man, you're in a live situation, right? It's a competitive environment. It's, it could be pressure inside that forces you to maybe not be as accurate. End of the day, you got to be able to throw, catch, and manage all of those situations.
Josh, how would you evaluate the play of those safeties, those older guys back there, and are those young guys getting closer to getting themselves in the mix and helping?
Yeah, you saw Christian in there early in the football game. Those guys are continuing to develop. They've grown on special teams. They're earning more reps on the defensive side of it. I thought early in the football game, defensively, we did a lot of really, really positive things, tackling in space being one of them. As the game wore on, I didn't think that we tackled as well in those situations.
Just with the double pass, Pittsburgh was able to execute it, and then Tennessee Tech tried it a couple times last week. Just what's kind of the disconnect there, I guess?
Depends what coverage you're in, right? But an aggressive defense that's going to fly to the football, it's a way for offense to try to counter it. At the end of the day, our third-level players got to see that, recognize, and pull off.
What have you seen from your tight ends and your running backs and, the run game, the run blocking game, as well as, pass protection from Tyon Evans? I noticed he picked up a couple of screamers the other day.
I thought our running backs ran their hardest and performed probably their best during the course of the season the other night. Great pad level, did a better job of pressing the line of scrimmage. Still bounced a couple things that I'd like to hit more vertical, but I thought they ran like a running back should run. Tight ends did a really good job for the most part in our run game. That's insertion plays on linebackers. It's split zones. Thought they managed the night pretty well.
Coach, could you share any of the guys that have gotten game balls that you guys have singled out in 4 games?
I don't have the list in front of me. I'll bring that with me on Thursday and give you guys some idea on that.
Tim, in the back.
Can you just talk about Javonte Payton's play? He's found the end zone last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I said it a week ago. He's continuing to grow and understanding of what we're doing, how we're playing. Has the one play where he's not set during the course of the play that he can operate and function in a better way, cleaner way from whistle to the next snap. But he's created some big plays down the football field 2 weeks ago with a touchdown, last week wide open. He's continuing to grow and competing at a really high level. Athletically, he fits what we're trying to do, and I think as we continue down the season, we'll make more and more plays.
Finally being able to hit that deep ball.
Yeah, that's one positive from the other night, right? Finally, we got somebody behind somebody and actually connected on it. So that was a positive, huge play in the early part of the football game.
Just to follow up on going for it on fourth down, the other night you had a 3rd and long. You got half of it and then went for it on fourth.
It was 4th and 2. Are you talking about?
No,
you talking about the run in the fourth quarter? Or?
I think Peyton you had 3rd and long, the drop, Callaway's drop on fourth down, the play before that.
Yep.
Do you ever have a 3rd down play where you say, we're going to go for it on fourth down, let's just get what we can get here? Do you know you're going for it on fourth down when you're calling 3rd?
Absolutely. You're a play ahead, right? And really more than that, based on some of the analytics, you have an idea where your go would be. That doesn't say that you're definitely going to go in that situation, but then you also are able to sequence your plays based on that. That absolutely has happened, the other night and previously.
Speaking of Jimmy Callaway, was there anything you've been able to say to him the past couple of days? I know he's a kid that y'all like a lot going forward, and just a tough moment in a tough game. Anything you can say to him?
Yeah, tough moments for multiple guys, right? And don't let a moment define you. As you move forward, you get to define those moments. And so your practice habits and how you approach everything that you do, ends up showing up. And that's a young guy that, did a lot of really positive things early in training camp. You guys heard me talk about him, missed some time, has come back and has missed some practices, and at the end of the day, when you're on the field, got to play a little bit cleaner. Did some really positive things the other night too. The things that weren't so positive, everybody can see. But continue to come back and be a great competitor and have great practice habits that will lead to a successful moment when that moment arises.
Anything else, Coach? Thank you.
Guys, appreciate it.